Firearms, alcohol, and tobacco? Sounds like a pretty good time.
Hey everyone, Fat Guy CJ back with yet another Firearms Friday for you guys. This week we're going to keep going in line with what we've talked about the last couple of weeks. I think it was 2 weeks ago I posted 10 things that you need to have on your everyday carry. Last week we addressed the whole 9mm versus 40 versus 45 mindset. And this week I want to kind of answer some really common questions when it comes just to your standard everyday carry kind of mindset. Some of these are going to be a little bit more advanced questions I'm going to be answering, but some of them are actually everyday questions that I'm going to be answering. So either way, I hope that you kind of enjoy this a little bit. So like I said 2 weeks ago, we know everything you need to have in your everyday carry. And last week we discussed caliber options. And I'm never going to sell you on a Glock versus a 1911 versus a SIG versus a Beretta versus a Ruger. I'm never going to be able to do that because everybody's hands are different and they just like different guns. It's just how that works. What I want to address right now is where on your body should you carry? And honestly, I don't know and I don't care. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of being, a dick. No, I'm saying it doesn't matter where you decide to carry so long as you're trained to carry from that spot on a regular basis. You can carry from your back or your 6 o'clock position. You can carry from your side, your 3 or 9 o'clock position. And I say the 3 or 9 o'clock position depending on if you're a lefty or a righty. Or you can carry from your appendix carry is what they call it, right up there in front. Likewise, if you don't want to carry inside your waistband and maybe you have a backpack or a bag or a purse or something that you keep with you all the time and you want to carry from that, go ahead. Make sure that firearm is absolutely secure, that there's no way some lipstick or some car keys or a pen or chopsticks, or make sure that an amory board can't even get in there and pull the trigger, okay? Make sure that thing's secure and make sure it's always in the same exact pocket every single day. Train like this so that when you go out and you're under stress and an assailant does come up to you and wants to, is hell-bent on doing harm to you and your person, you know exactly where your gun is, you know exactly how to draw it, how to punch out and mitigate that threat. Personally, I'm a big fan of carrying in the small of my back. I wear a lot of coats, I wear a lot of hoodies, I wear a lot of backpacks, especially in the winter, but I also do a lot in the summer too. It's just really easy for me to carry. It's not something I really ever have to worry about printing. Printing is when you can see the outline of your firearm through your clothing, or maybe you bend down and your shirt kind of comes up a little bit and the world can see your gun and you may think it's, whatever, no big deal, but for mom and pop liberal Poppenstein, they're gonna be freaked out and keep your shit wrapped, essentially. Safe sex message from Firearms, Alcohol, Tobacco. Anyway, moving on. So another thing that I wanted to cover today, and it's going right along with the firearms mindset that we've been talking about. You've got your 9, your 40, your 45, your 380. It doesn't matter what you're carrying, as long as you're carrying something with you, and you know exactly where you're going to carry it, whether it's small of your back, appendix carry, purse, inside the thigh, ankle holster, doesn't matter, okay, as long as you know how to train it. The question that I get a lot is, should I carry with one of the pipe? And this means, should I carry with the firearm in condition 1? And what that means is, should there be a live round in the chamber? Yes, absolutely. Of course, duh. Is this even a real fucking question right now? Come on, folks. You spent all of this time training. You spent all of this money training. You've gone through the loopholes. You've got your concealed carry permit. You've filled out stupid freaking ATF forms just so that you can invoke your right to bear arms, which is really more or less nowadays a fucking privilege. Why wouldn't you carry with one in the pipe? Why would you not carry with a live round in the chamber? And I get it, you know, to an extent. To an extent, I get it. Some people that carry Glocks don't particularly want the fallacy of drawing your firearm under stress, putting your finger on the trigger too early, and then popping around into the ground. I get that. Even with guns that don't really have safeties, like the 6-hour P226. Firstly, if you can regularly and effectively conceal carry a P226, comment below, because you and I are going to have a talk and I'm going to do a whole expose on you. There's things like decockers on said guns, where after you rack around inside the chamber, you just decock the firearm, it's safe, essentially, and then you have a 10-pound trigger pull until you can start putting rounds down range. And there's other guns that do that too. It's not just the SIG 226. And you may say that you train absolutely to withdraw your firearm, rack around, and then punch out, and then start putting rounds down range. Okay, but isn't it just faster and more effective to draw your firearm and start putting effective rounds down range? Especially if your assailant has the upper hand on you and maybe he shoots your offhand or something like that, in which case you're going to be doing a real tactical, like, boot rack. I mean, that's neat, but you're just putting yourself into unnecessary danger. So yes, you should always carry with a round inside the chamber. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to talk about is, do you carry hollow points or do you carry ball ammunition when you carry? And again, for those of you that don't know the difference, ball ammunition is just your standard target ammunition. For 9mm, 115 grains, has a muzzle velocity of 1,190 feet per second at the muzzle. Yes, good job, guys, good job. Thanks for watching my videos. So here you have ball ammunition, and on the other hand, you have hollow points. Okay, which one's going to be better and why? Well, for target shooting, ball ammunition, because a box of 9mm goes for $13, $14 for a box of 50, whereas hollow points, you know, for a box of 25, they go for about $20, $25, depending on which brand you get. And the main difference between hollow points and ball ammunition is that hollow points expand on impact. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but hollow points expand on impact. But ball rounds don't do that. Ball rounds have more of a penetrative property to them, meaning they're the ones that'll go through a couple of inches of wood, and they'll definitely go through a couple of inches worth of gelatin target. So here's your mindset. You're out there, you're walking around downtown, wherever the case may be. Maybe it might be here in sunny Colorado. An assailant comes up to you. So this guy pulls a gun on you. And it's pretty crowded because it's Saturday night. There's a lot of other couples out there. And he's pretty ballsy. He pulls a gun on you, and you draw your firearm. And you put rounds downrange. When you have ball ammunition that you're putting downrange, you have an exponentially greater possibility of impacting through your target and hitting the sad little innocent couple behind them that's being terrorized watching you almost get robbed. Whereas if you have a hollow point that expands on impact, the possibility of that round going through your assailant is greatly reduced. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a possibility because distance and bullet weight and barrel length and everything comes into play with that, but you have an exponentially lower risk of third-party casualties with hollow points than you do with ball ammunition. And you might say, well, I'd like to carry ball ammunition with me because what happens if I do shoot and I do miss and I end up hitting somebody else? Well, yeah, that's pretty sucky, but what happens if you don't miss and you hit them anyways? Hollow points. You should always carry hollow points with you in your everyday carry. And if you honestly feel like you're not good enough to where you can subdue an assailant that's coming at you, well, that's when you need to get out to the range and start putting more rounds down range. Again, 50 rounds a week should be your target training goal for your everyday carry. Put 50 rounds downrange, ball ammunition, clean it, and put it right back in your everyday carry. All right, so thus far we've covered where on your person you should carry, whether or not you should carry a live round in the pipe, and hollow points versus ball ammunition for your everyday carry. Now here's where I might be losing a lot of you guys, and that's okay. Just stop, take it in stride, and kind of rewind the video if you need to hear this next part a couple of times. There are two different kinds of hollow point. You have bonded and non-bonded hollow points. And this may be a term that is extremely foreign to you, and that's fine. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. Likewise, some of you are going to listen to my explanation and my description of the two differences and say, well, you just sidestep that. So if you have a better description of bonded versus non-bonded, again, please comment below, and we'll even give you a shout out on the next video, okay? So a bonded hollow point is a hollow point whose copper casing is molecularly bonded to the lead core. A non-bonded hollow point is a hollow point whose lead core is not molecularly bonded to the copper casing. The question is, which one's better? And here you kind of have to sit and think about your whole mentality. A bonded hollow point will retain more mass when shot through things like wood and auto glass. Personally, I carry bonded hollow points for my Glock 19, which I keep in my Jeep. Should the need arise, I will be able to shoot through the glass in my Jeep and still be confident that my rounds are impacting exactly where I need them to impact. I carry non-bonded hollow points though in my carry gun because they have less of a chance of penetrating through a soft target, or what I mean by soft target is a person. And what I really don't want is to have to engage somebody, say at a supermarket, and risk the possibility of injuring a bystander. I don't want that. So I'm trying to mitigate how far my bullets will go, because that's all I got on bonded versus non-bonded hollow points. It really doesn't matter though with today's technology. They're both very solid rounds. Back when hollow points just kind of first started becoming a thing, and then they came out with the bonded hollow points, extreme night and day difference when it comes to penetration. But nowadays, it's different, but it's not that different. Alrighty guys, thanks for hanging out with me for yet another Firearms Friday. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through another kind of long-winded kind of video. I would like to say welcome to Gunny Smith. He's going to be one of our regular contributors here on the channel. If you haven't checked out his video yet, please do so. I'm going to put a link to it right here-ish, but definitely go check it out. If you guys have any questions on anything I've stated so far, if you guys have any suggestions on upcoming Firearms Fridays, please go ahead and leave a comment below. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, train safe, train right, train hard.